Hey, beautiful ones. Thank you so much for coming. Do you remember when we were children and it would rain and you had to walk through a mud path? You remember walking through the mud path and how we had to pick where we would walk, and you would stand there and you're looking to see, okay, the next time I go to walk, I have to make sure that I put my foot over there. And then once you get there and you see that it's level, you're looking again for the next spot where you will put your foot. Okay? We used to have to, sometimes we would hold on to the paling stave, not even paling stave. The fence would be made of these coconut, the coconut branch, the part of the coconut branch, the stick like, and we would take it and we would push it through the barbed wire to make the fence. And as we're walking, we would hold on to that and just hold on and standing up on a little piece of grass. And then we would look again to see where our next move will be. And then we go to that spot and we would keep walking like that. I want to give you 2 lessons from this before I go into dabbing. The first lesson is, as a child, you picked and you chose where you are going to walk. You actually assessed the ground to make sure that it would be a valuable move and you would not fall down flat on your BT, because you knew that falling would encounter more issues. So you actually picked and you chose where your next move was going to be. I want to say to you, apply this same skill in your life. When you're going to make decisions, whatever those decisions are, just don't make them willy-nilly. Use the same kind of reasoning that you used when you were a child trying to navigate through the mud. Remember that? And choose where your next path will be. Weigh your decisions. Don't just make decisions. Don't say yes to things before you've weighed it, before you've seen what is in it. Then move. Even from childhood, we did that. It didn't matter how much mud was in the path. If we knew that we had to go in the shop, we found a way to pass through the mud and we got to our destination. I want to ask you, why is it that you are allowing people to throw a little mud your way and the mud is stopping you? People are throwing mud at you and it is stopping you in your track. They say something about you, something muddy about you, and you take it to heart. You own it. You actually forget what you believe about yourself and you start owning what they think about you. And you left sitting there in that mud, wallowing in mud. Listen, my dear, we don't wallow in mud as Guyanese. It doesn't matter what mud is in our pathway. We jump over it, we move past it, and we keep moving. That is our motto. Mud has never stopped us. And I want you to remember that. And I want you to embrace that. Do not allow the mud of any person to stop you on your journey. Do not allow the mud that is placed in your way to stop you from going to your destination. Do not allow the mud that is placed there strategically to block your way to stop you from your destination. It has never stopped us as children. Never. We always found a way around the mud. Yes, we did. We found a way to navigate through that mud to get to our destination. And I'm saying to you, find a way around the mud. I don't care who is slinging the mud at you. Find a way around the mud and continue moving. Continue on your journey. All right? Let's talk a little bit now about dabbing. When I was a child, we had to dab. We had to dab fireside. We had to dab bottom out. We had to dab between the plants in our yard so that it would look really neat and beautiful. But before we started dabbing, there's a process to this. The first thing is we had to get an old saucepan. So we would locate the saucepan. We would locate a piece of cloth that is really good for the purpose. And we would know when we find a piece of cloth that could dab good, because not every piece of cloth could dab. And you know, right there is a lesson for us. Sometimes we pick up any piece of cloth and we believe that we can dab with that cloth. And here I'm talking about choices in who you allow to be in your relationships, who you allow to be in your life. Remember, not all cloth can dab. Some cloth will never give you that nice, smooth, squishy dabbing that you want so your work look good. So if you're going to dab in life, make sure that you're choosing the right piece of cloth for dabbing. Now, after that, we had to go and get some cow dung. The right kind, soft enough. And then we had to go and choose our mud carefully. You have to get the nice white mud, the nice buttery mud. That was the best mud for dabbing. And then we will put it together to get what we want. I want to pause there and say to you, this is life recipe. Whatever you choose to put together, you're going to get the outcome that you want. We knew exactly if we didn't get the right mud, if we didn't get the right cloth, if we didn't get the right saucepan, and if we didn't get the right cow dung, it has to be soft, then our whole endeavor will not be right. Please remember this as you approach life. Whatever you choose to put in your life to get your recipe for success, it will be determined by if you have the correct ingredient in your life. The correct ingredient will always give you the right outcome. Life is not that difficult. Life is really simple. Like there are certain keys that can open locks, and there are certain keys, no matter how you push them, they will not open the lock. So if you want, think about the kind of life you want and make sure that you're putting the right ingredients so that when you're ready to dab, you are going to get the best outcome. That's the first lesson. Now, I remember when I wanted to dab, I used to first stand up and survey the bottom house, especially. And I always used to think, where am I going to begin? And once I chose one spot, that became the spot. Every time I'm going to dab, I would begin at that same spot. This is life. Whatever dreams you have, whatever it is that you want to achieve, you must see the big picture. I'm not saying you're not going to work and put the pieces together. The same way you see the big picture, you know the outcome you want, and then you start gathering the stuff one piece at a time. Like we say, one dirty build dam. So you collect the different things that you need and you bring them together, and then you decide where you're going to start. If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to wait till, and then I'm going to wait till, and then I'm going to. If you find yourself that this is your song, I'm going to wait till, and then I'm going to, you are going to be in a perpetual place of, I'm going to wait till, and then I'm going to, because the right time, the right circumstance may never provide itself to you. So whatever it is, start gathering the small pieces together and begin. And notice, when we start dabbing, it's piece at a time. We start with one spot, and then we move to another spot, and then we move to another spot until the work is finished. That is still the recipe for success in life. One dirty build dam. Start somewhere, but start please. You could gather the cloth, you can gather everything that you need, and if you're still singing the song of I am going to dab and you're just talking about it, it will not be done. I am saying to you, start dabbing. And once you start, you will finish. Now, another thing I want you to understand here is that we have never been stranger to mud. We get mud, you throw mud to us, we will dab with it. Dab with the mud they're throwing at you. Use it. Don't sit down and wallow in it. They throw you mud, use it to dab. Have you forgotten how to dab? Don't forget how to dab. There is no mud that anybody can throw at you that you can use it to dab. Find a purpose and step on that thing and keep going. The last thing I want to tell you is that when we finish dabbing, we do not throw away the rest of our mixture. We keep it there, especially next to the fireside. I remember we would keep it right there, and I used to like dabbing the fireside as soon as you see the pot is finished. There was just something so satisfying about seeing it drying immediately. I just love to see myself dabbing, and as soon as I dab, if there's a little black spot, then it just becomes so mud white again. I absolutely enjoy that. And that is what I want you to understand. If anybody's throwing mud at you, they're slinging mud at you, they're talking things about you, don't become perturbed or disturbed by that. Instead, if you're saving mud, if you're sitting there, oh, they did this to me, and that person did this to me, and I cannot forgive, and I cannot forget. If you're saving mud, make sure that you're saving it to use for your purpose the next time. If you're saving all this mud that life has thrown at you, you didn't have this person wasn't here for you. If you're saving all that mud and you don't have a purpose for it, you're not going to use it to dab the fireside, or you're not going to use it to dab the spot under the house that needs redabbing, I say to you today, dash that mud out. If it's not serving you, if it's not valuable to you, if you're not finding a way to use it for your betterment, you don't need to keep that mud. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. And I think that this is a pertinent reminder for all of us who have never been afraid of mud in our childhood, not to be afraid of mud as an adult. There is no mud that anybody can throw at you that you don't know how to walk past, that you don't know how to dodge, that you don't know how to find a way to meander around it. There is no mud that anybody can throw at you that you cannot use for your purpose to get you to the higher level that you need to be in life. So, don't take their mud seriously. Use it for your purpose. Show that you can walk past that mud. And remember, not hang your hat where your arm can't reach. Not take shame face and shake Kokobe man on. And remember, what rain can fall, dew can fall. But more than anything else, me want you remember, say, believe kill and believe cure. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.